Ladies and gents, welcome to episode 20 of Shoe Booty Sports. Coming at you Tuesday night about 9 p.m. Central Time, March 15th. Shoe Booty Sports, ladies and gentlemen, is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon, the marathon, and the Rhino Ultra. Visit rhinoraces.com for details of those races and sign up today. Also, check out Shoe Booty Sports. You can find us on Spotify, Apple, and Google Podcasts, and subscribe to our YouTube channel here on YouTube, and find us on Twitter as well at Shoe Booty Sports. That's at Shoe Booty Sports on Twitter. So big news just all throughout the week. First and foremost, Tom Brady is back. That was what a I don't even know how long he's been off. 8 weeks or so. Was it even
I
that?
I wanted to say 6 weeks.
Could be
What
six. That
wasn't that
sounds
long?
about right. Yeah, it doesn't
Wasn't
feel
that
like
long?
it didn't take didn't take him long to realize, okay, maybe life at home isn't as awesome as I had imagined, but
Maybe it was all real quality time.
I'm sure it was great. I
Yeah,
mean, lovely family. I jest, but yeah, Tom's back. He obviously had the itch to come back, and here we are coming back to the Bucks. I had speculated he possibly would be wanting to come back for the 49ers, but here we are. Unfinished business with the Bucks. I don't know what's unfinished. He got a Super Bowl,
yeah.
but could probably I'm not going to say should have beaten the Rams, but they certainly had them on the ropes uh, in the divisional round of the playoffs. So to go out to the Super Bowl champions and saying you wanted to play till you were 45 anyway, and to lead the league in passing last year and lose on a final drive to the eventual Super Bowl champion, it seemed like I was more surprised that he retired than he than I was surprised him announcing his comeback. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah, I really wasn't expecting it after the game. And it was like a week, not even a week after the game he came out and retired.
Give or take. Yeah, something like it was before the Super Bowl. Yeah. It was I was surprised that he retired, or at least announced it that soon. I mean, take a little time to think about it. And that because that's how we got in this situation. I imagine. Just I mean, the guy probably hasn't put down a football, or had some drinks, eaten something probably not super great for you that's plant based in who knows how long now, a decade or so. So I'm sure he did some of those things, spent some time with family, put the football down for a few weeks, and then realized I'm still really good at this, and I still really love this, and I still want to play. Sometimes you just need to mentally check out for a while. You need to take a break and come back and get and refresh. And dude is just ultra competitive, and then losing, to what event became the eventual Super Bowl champion. I'm sure that was frustrating as well. But I mean, he did retire before the Super Bowl, but yeah, I'm sure if anything, that might have lit a fire under him to come back, or been added incentive. I think he would have come back anyway, but I think that would have been added incentive for him to come back to see the Rams celebrate on the field if he even watched. I mean, do you
Oh,
think
I'm
Brady
sure he
watched the Super
watched. Yeah.
Bowl?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised if he said he didn't though. And like I'm supposed to be in that game. It's too painful for me to watch. I could see him doing something like that. Like Calvin Johnson, he said he didn't watch football for the first year or two after he retired. He said he was done with it. He's like, but then he realized, hey, I love this game, and he tunes in now. So
Yeah, he he left a lot of years on the table.
he
But
did, but yeah, I mean, he pulled a Barry Sanders. I
mm,
right, I don't know that it's a coincidence that both played for Detroit.
probably not.
9 years, 9 seasons there is enough. I mean, Stafford won it out. So, and that was the thing. Stafford was, I mean, he was excited to be drafted by Detroit when it happened. He was saying, "I want to get drafted by the Lions." I mean, if you got to give the Lions credit though for giving him the trade that he wanted, basically. He said, "I want to go here. I want to compete for a championship," and they made it happen. Like we're not gonna, do anything, and I guess that's a good thing. Then again, that might be why they're in the position they're in. They're not doing what's necessarily best for the organization, at least in part. So what are okay? Big news: Brady's back. The GOAT coming back for his 23rd NFL season next fall. I mean, I guess it would technically still be summer on the cusp of fall, but this next season the GOAT is back. We'll be back. So, what are Tampa Bay's chances next season? Vegas, their odds jumped up tremendously when Brady broke the news, and he strategically did it. He did it, a couple of days before this big free agent signing period, where teams could start signing players, and he did so to say for a lot of the Tampa guys, "Hey, stick with me. I'm back." And also incentive for the Glazers to go get some pieces around him to win. So, or good timing by Tom, to do it. If you're going to come back, now's the time to do it. So it makes sense. Tampa's up there. I mean, you could say they're the favorites, in the NFC next year. Because I don't know what the Rams are going to be able to bring back. They've said that they're going to try to bring back as many pieces as they can, but they just simply can't afford to.
Yeah, I've already seen it where Vaughn's interested in going to the Cowboys. That was
Von Miller.
Yeah, that was what I seen like right after work today, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
But
I mean, go get your money. I
yeah,
mean, dude's got
exactly. Go
two
get paid.
rings. Dude's got 2 rings. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. Go get your money while you can. I understand it. I mean, there are worse teams you could go to, and if they could pay you, sure. But
Yeah,
I don't think they could afford Von Miller anyway, and many of the other pieces around them. The Rams are still going to be competitive, but that's a tough division. And yeah, it's going to be hard for them to repeat. But you could certainly Tampa's got as good of a chance as anybody to come out of the NFC with Brady back, and they've signed some key pieces. Um,
as long as they keep Fournette, right? And
I mean,
he
that'll
coming up on
help.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say he's just, I mean, that's the thing. Tampa was just so beat up last year. I mean, and I know Leonard Fournette's a free agent. I don't know how many of those guys they're going to be able to get back. Are they going to get Gronk back now? Like, who knows?
yeah.
A lot's going to happen.
Yeah, it'll happen.
I would say so. I mean, you'd still want to ride it out with Brady if I'm him. But I'd say Tampa's got as good of a chance as anybody. But speaking of NFL free agency, a lot has happened. Talking about sticking to Tampa, the Bengals are starting to do what we have said that they should do this whole time, shoring up that offensive line and keeping some of those key defensive players they have. They've signed guard Alex Kappa to a 4-year, $40 million deal, and signed Ted Karras. I believe that's how you say it, Karras. Is that how you would say it? Karras.
Yeah, Karras.
Yeah, either one.
Yeah,
Sorry, Ted, if we got that wrong, but the former
sure we did.
Patriot guard, supposedly moving into play center. He can play both center and guard, either guard spot. Uh, and signed him to a 3-year, $18 million deal. And they re-signed defensive tackle B.J. Hill to a 3-year, $30 million deal. So the Bengals are shoring up their weak spots, and they're doing it. I mean, they're pretty smart about how they're doing it budget wise. They're not handing out these just massive deals like the Packers are. You know, to their quarterback. I mean, yeah, Rodgers is worth that, but you're going to have a hard time signing other players around him, as we know. But the Bengals are doing all they can to protect their quarterback, their potential Hall of Fame quarterback. If they can keep him healthy.
Yeah,
And
surely
but
he'll get sacked less. You would think.
surely now, yes. Like you go out and you get two quality offensive linemen. You still have a draft to continue. I mean, they need to continue to shore up that line, though. I mean, draft some. I mean, use your first round draft pick, on a lineman, tackle or something. You gotta. It's just an atrocious offensive line. I don't think it's as bad as when Andrew Luck was in Indy, but it's pretty close. And you're going to get the same result if you don't strengthen that line. But I mean, they're doing that. You got to tip your hat off to them. Cincinnati hasn't been an organization that would do something like that in the past, but then again, they haven't had a quarterback like, Joe Burrow come through. And I mean, Carson Palmer was really, really good. But I mean, Joe Burrow is special. So, I mean, you got to do everything you can to protect him, protect your investment. But other news, the Cowboys, talking about the Cowboys, letting Amari Cooper go, trading him to the Browns. Jarvis Landry is now reportedly seeking a trade away from the Browns. So we'll see if
I thought they released him.
Who?
I thought the Browns released Landry.
I didn't see that. I think they opened him up to a trade. I didn't see anything about him releasing. I don't know why you would release him unless you just unless it's a massive cap hit, which I don't believe he is. No, they're allowing him to seek a trade. Last I heard, unless something broke within the last 24 hours or so, give or take. But Amari Cooper to the Browns. We'll see if he can make Baker better. I mean, Baker was beat up all year, so I kind of give him a pass a little bit for this year. But at the same time, I mean, but Joe Burrow played the end of the regular season with like a pinky that was all zigzaggy on his throwing hand, and he was still making plays. So, and it didn't he wasn't Baker's torn labrum in his non-throwing shoulder? I mean, it still hurts. I mean, don't get it twisted. That still hurts.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he was beat up, and I give him a little bit of a pass for that. But at the same time, he could have been better than he was this year. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Other big news. We didn't touch up on this. We didn't get to last week. It happened right after, I think, the day after we aired last week's podcast. Carson Wentz gets traded to the Commanders, which is still, different to say.
Yeah,
but
a little bit.
Commanders can catch on. It's not a terrible name. With some of the ones I saw out there, Commanders isn't bad. That can catch on. But Carson Wentz to the Commanders. Yeah, I don't. We'll see how that goes.
Expectations aren't too high, right?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, the Redskins just aren't a very good team to begin with. I like Ron Rivera, but I mean, the league is shifting to offensive coaches. I mean, offensive coaches have been the ones, head coaches have been the ones that have been the most successful in recent years. And yeah, I mean, Washington's a mediocre team, but in a bad division. It's a winnable division. So, well, I don't know. We'll see. I don't see them being better though than the Eagles or Cowboys. So, how much better does Carson Wentz make the Commanders? I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Washington's not a terrible team by any means, but
no.
Yeah. So Carson Wentz to the to the Commanders. It didn't sound like a good trade considering what had happened the previous 2 days. Packers re-signing Aaron Rodgers, and then the Broncos making a big splash trading to get Russell Wilson, which was huge. And now players are wanting to go over to the Broncos to play. I saw another key free agent signing, or that the Broncos are seeking. Can't remember the guy's name. Don't have it in front of me, but I remember seeing it, thinking, okay, that's the Russell Wilson effect. Teams wanting to go because that's a contender now with Russell Wilson at quarterback.
Definitely.
The other thing about quarterbacks not exactly making a splash when going to a new team, Mitchell Trubisky headed to the Steelers. So Deshaun Watson, as we know, is won't face criminal charges. That doesn't mean he's free from his civil suits necessarily, but you can always settle with however many there are, 20 some odd, or
That's 21, 22, something like that.
a lot, but you know, you can get a settlement out of that, but you don't have to face criminal charges. And if anybody can afford the settlement, I suppose it's Deshaun Watson, uh, somebody under a pro quarterback contract. But a lot of people were kind of clamoring in Pittsburgh to go after Deshaun Watson. They go get Mitch Trubisky instead. Mitchell Trubisky he's caught a lot of buzz kind of since the offseason started. This guy's going to be a starting quarterback next year. And yeah, probably. He would have to be on a solid team to really make noise. I don't think.
Yeah, the pieces have got to be there already.
I just don't think Pittsburgh is that team. Ben Roethlisberger was clearly out of his prime this past season, but I don't think Big Ben was the problem. I mean, you just saw so much dysfunction. I mean, Big Ben was out there having to be a coach, you know, every play, and you could see him every play correcting something that somebody did. You know, whether it was a wrong route that was run or miscommunication, O line. I mean, it was just dysfunction offensively. So I don't know how that's going to work. We're going to find out though. Trubisky to the Steelers. It's better than I would take Mitch Trubisky though over who was the guy that Myles Garrett hit in the head with his helmet? Mason something.
Uh,
That kind of tells you all you need to know though, right?
yeah,
But
I
I
know
can't
who
even
you're
remember
talking
the
about.
guy's name.
Yeah.
I know him as the guy that Myles Garrett hit in the head, hitting the top of the head with his helmet. I mean, just came down on him like it was a hammer striking a nail. Be a little
Man,
diff,
what
be
was
a
that
little
guy's name?
be a little
Yeah.
funny form though to come down like that on an actual nail. It's Mason something. Yeah, Mason something. But I would take Trubisky over him. So good job, Steelers. Maybe.
No, I wouldn't know.
I mean, well, unless you trade for Deshaun Watson, I mean, what else could you really do though right now? You know, who would you go out and get instead?
I don't know. Where's Jimmy G playing?
Well, he's still in San Francisco right now. I mean, you'll have to trade for him. That's the thing. Now, yeah, if I were the Steelers, I would rather have Jimmy G over Trubisky. Absolutely. But you know, even then, there's limitations.
Yeah.
You know, with Garoppolo. But I would take him over Trubisky, sure. So where's Deshaun Watson going to land? We hear the Panthers are interested. Saw today the Falcons are said to be a dark horse team to pursue him, which I can understand. I mean, you're still paying Matt Ryan a whole lot of money, that like Antonio Brown's one rap song went just on repeat. A whole lot of money. Did you ever hear that thing?
Nope.
That was a garbage track. It was
No, I
just
can
that.
imagine.
It was that on repeat. I got a whole lot of money, and it was that on repeat. That was his whole "I'm more than a football player" thing. Which is fine. You can be more than a football player, but you're not even doing your job as a football player. I mean, that's your job, a football player. I'm more than a healthcare worker, but I still got to go do that, during the day. So you got to do that part before you can do the other things, or at least, don't let that affect your actual gig. And I think a lot of things were affecting Antonio Brown's, regular gig amongst everything. But
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
thinks he's going to get signed. Do you see him getting signed anywhere?
No.
I mean, who's going to take a chance
I
on
say
that?
no, but somebody will take a chance. Somebody will take a chance. But I
What was
say
the
no, I wouldn't.
what was the gosh? He was the Cardinals' offensive coordinator. Then the year they went to the Super Bowl, and then became a head coach for a while. Gosh, I can't remember the guy's name. Todd something maybe. Todd Haley, is that it?
You got me. I don't know.
Let's double check that.
Fact check
Tell us something about golf while I'm fact checking this.
about golf. Cameron Smith won the Players this weekend, and that was a kind of a mess of a tournament due to the weather. It finished up on Monday, but yeah, it's pretty sweet. There was an ace on hole 17, which I think was the 10th one in the history of the tournament. That was pretty cool to see. Another cool thing to see was Saturday, whenever the wind was gusting 30 to 40 miles an hour, I think. And those guys were trying to hit that tiny island green and just, yeah, wasn't really going where they wanted it to go. Yeah, that's pretty fun to watch.
All right, well, and that's our recap of golf for the weekend. That was all Bradley Brown on that one. Just killing it over there. I did see that was on what Players Championship, is that what they call it?
Yep. And
Yeah,
Luke was actually there. He was actually there on Saturday. So
well, that's
it was
cool.
about a 3-hour drive away, I think, for him where he's at and down there.
Right
So,
on. Oh, shout out Luke. By the way, it is Todd Haley. I was thinking of Todd Haley. Uh,
look at the big brain on Graham.
something like that. But yes, Todd Haley, who is a listed in listed on Google, which would be, well, Wikipedia through here, is an American football coach who is the current head coach and general manager for the Tampa Bay Bandits of the United States Football League, the USFL, whenever that comes around. But yeah, when Antonio Brown quit, Todd Haley reached out to Antonio Brown saying, "Hey, I got a spot for you on this team." And like Antonio Brown, of course, responds with like, "Man, F, no, I think it was with two laughing emojis." So classy way to
Yeah,
respond to a job offer. But that's Antonio Brown. So as far as where Deshaun Watson will land, I don't know. Could be the Panthers.
I mean, I think the Panthers make sense.
It does, and you would think you'd want to keep Christian McCaffrey around if
Yeah.
you can land him, because it
Yep.
sounds like the Panthers are just ready to blow it up. But if you can go get Deshaun Watson, then it's like, okay, we can we can try to win now as opposed to later on down the road. So that would be a good spot. The Falcons, unless they got the pieces, that's the only way I
Falcons
would
don't
see
make
that
sense to
happening.
me. I mean, hell, their number one receiver is going to be out next season, anyways. Uh,
That's right.
he's
That's
not gonna.
$1,500
Yeah,
bet.
yeah. And plus, dude, it'd be a giant slap in the face to Matt Ryan. He's did a lot for that city and been on that team for a while. Freaking,
You're right, but I mean that's how it is. That's why.
that is how it is. But to bring him in with a guy, I guess still has all this legal trouble still surrounding him, or
Yeah,
not really positive vibes surrounding him. Yeah,
they kind of had that issue with the quarterback before Matt Ryan too. So
yeah, but
different kind of legal issues, but
that didn't necessarily happen while he was. Yeah, it did.
yes, it
Never
happened
mind.
full on during the time
Never
he was playing
mind.
quarterback, like full
Never
on.
mind. Yeah,
I
it's
know it was a
full
long
on
time
right in the
ago.
middle. Yeah, it was.
I know it
Oh
was a
yeah,
long time ago, but we can't give him Mike Vick a
dude.
pass there.
I mean, that was was that right after his MVP season?
No, but he was. I mean, he was still very much in his prime.
Yes, he
Um,
was. I mean, hell, because he even came back and played after it was all said and done, dude.
and was an MVP candidate. Because they had drafted the Kevin Cobb, to be the McNabb successor, and Michael Vick just lit it up in training camp, and ended up having a hell of a season. I mean, he played phenomenal, and it was awful what he did.
Terrible.
If you read the reports and stuff of what he actually did, it was terrible. It was awful, and that shouldn't be forgotten. But at the same
Nope.
time, he did his time, and if you believe him and believe you just kind of, I mean, I guess you could look at the evidence too. Rehabilitated himself. He had a pretty good comeback.
Mm-hmm.
Signed a big contract after all that. So I mean, good on him. But yeah, it would make sense to get back to the original point. It would make a little sense to maybe not go for a guy that's having some legal issues right now, even though he won't face criminal charges.
Still.
Falcons have dealt with that already, so may want to stick to what you got. I don't know necessarily Matt Ryan's he hasn't been great, but there are more pieces that need to be in place there. For one, have your receiver not bet on NFL games. That would be a good start.
Yeah, step one.
So, did you see any of the details of Aaron Rodgers' contract?
I have not.
I
No.
just saw today on a headline Rodgers will get 150 million in the first 3 years of his deal. It's like it's
Second
150.8
guaranteed.
million. I think the first couple of years are guaranteed. The first year or two is guaranteed, and the first year, I think it. I mean, it's like 49 million or something the first year, and then the next is more. I don't know. I took a glance at it,
Yeah.
but either way, man.
He better be saving his money.
And there's a lot
Let's be
of
honest.
you can't afford to blow any money with 150 million in the first 3 years. You better tighten up with these gas prices, Rogers. You're gonna be on the streets in a few years. If you're not careful with all that.
Yep.
Yeah, 150.8 million the first 3 years of his new deal. I don't know how many valuable pieces Packers are gonna be able to sign. Now there are some like incentives in that contract, like they have an option to, I think, I can't remember the wording, cancel it or void it or something, uh, in year 3 and 4, I think it is. So I assume that would probably be in part in case Aaron Rodgers says, "Hey, I'm done after this, after this year." So I could kind of see maybe why they would be put in place like that. But either way, that's a lot of money, 150 mil over the first 3 years. So Aaron Rodgers getting paid. All right, and we'll jump to basketball real quick. First of all, let's talk a little bit about Ben Simmons' return to Philly last week. The Nets absolutely just put it on them. I thought Philadelphia would come out rolling.
Simmons probably had the time of his life sitting there watching that go down.
Yeah, and you could see like his teammates like had his back. I mean, KD and Kyrie. I mean, they were as fired up as anybody out there, and just lit it up there in Philly. I thought Philly would put on a better performance than that. I was
Yeah, I was excited to tune in, and that excitement soon left.
What was it? Was
Yeah.
it a Thursday game? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it was a Thursday game, and yeah, I missed it. I was out that night, but
You didn't miss a lot.
well, I mean, it still would have been fun to watch though. I did catch the end of the Sixers game last night with the Nuggets. Nuggets, edged them out, but I mean, that's a solid 1-2 punch though. Harden and Embiid. But man, Jokic with Denver, that dude can pass like anywhere on the court. Like his passing impresses me as much as anything. You got to check out Jokic in Denver if you get a chance. Dude's fun to watch. Different player. The reason he's been the MVP. So reigning MVP that is. But anyway, so why isn't he playing Ben Simmons? Is it still the mental health thing? And because I saw today, like Steve Nash was saying, he hopes Ben Simmons is ready, will be ready to come back before the end of the regular season. Why is he not playing now? I mean, he's healthy.
Yeah, is he?
Yes, I mean that's the thing. I mean, there's just we're harping so much on mental health now, and I get it, and I hear he's got
Eh,
like legit like mental health issues, but at the same time, it's like I don't know that sitting out is necessarily going to help you if that's the case. You know, I kind of
yeah.
feel like you need to get out there and get integrated, if anything, to help in the long run. But before you, do you want him to come in at the start of the playoffs? You think that's a good time to bring him back? I mean, get out there now, get it out of your system.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't know why he's not playing, man. It doesn't make any sense.
it makes
You'd
no
think being a
sense.
professional athlete, man, you'd have to have the, mental toughness to, get through it. Hell, you'd think, basketball, usually people, treat it as an escape, it's a game. Yeah, like you said, you'd think it'd be better for him, beneficial for him to be out there. But what do we know?
You know, what do we know, right? But it just, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense to. I think the longer you sit out, the worse it's going to get. So it would make sense to come back. I mean, okay, like you didn't want to face the Philly crowd, all right, but it's over now. Like that
So is
game's
he
over.
practicing?
I don't know. I think he's practicing, but it's like mental health thing that now he does have a legitimate. I say that there was no injury thing, but I mean he was battling like a legitimate, I think, leg issue. But for the most part, I think the guy is healthy enough to play. Now, if we're wrong on this, sorry, our bad. We screwed up on us. But by all reports, it's. I mean, they're saying that's what this is what they're saying. They're putting out there mental health. On top of the leg issue. If it's just a leg issue, just say it's a leg issue. But if it's a mental health thing, sure we take that seriously. But at the same time, it's if you're well enough to play, I would think it would be beneficial to get out there and do it. Me personally.
Yep.
So, but well, on the line of mental health, have you seen anything about this? About Naomi Osaka, the tennis player, uh,
Oh, I seen it.
wanting to address the heckler. Did you actually see it?
No, I just seen it on Twitter. But
Yeah.
dude, I can't believe this crap.
Well, I know she's had issues in the past, like as far as like walking away from a press conference after a tough question or like tearing up and things like that. And I mean, you got to get thicker skin than that. It's if you're letting one person in the crowd that I think that said you suck, if you're letting that bother you,
They paid their money for that ticket. They can say whatever they want. I mean, some way or another, they're paying. They're the reason why you have all the sponsorships, and they're the reason why you're getting paid because people want to come watch you. You can't take on one heckler. Man, that's
uh,
sad.
yeah, I wouldn't say buying a ticket gives you a right to get in there and say whatever you
No,
want,
it doesn't. But
but I get what you're
it,
trying to say. That it's if you
it depends.
I'm
I
not
mean,
I don't I'm not the fan that goes out and yells. Now I may have yelled at
not
Nick
you suck.
Saban. Yeah,
But
now I've yelled at Nick Saban to get off the field when he's been halfway on the field at Reynolds Razorback Stadium, yelling at his team or whatever. It's like, get off the field, man. What are you doing? You can do that from the sideline or outside your coach's box or whatever. You don't have to be at the hash mark. Yeah. Yeah, I am guilty of doing that and I will continue to do it. If whether it's Saban or whoever when I'm there, not that he hears me or cares. But sure, I'll like yell something like that. But even the person, even if they yell "you suck," you gotta like.
You sure you've never yelled "ref, you suck"?
Oh, I'm sure I've done that.
I've done it plenty of times.
Yeah, I'm sure I've done that. That's different
Oh, you
though.
suck, ref. Yeah,
Now,
but the ref should be used to.
if you're a
Yeah,
referee and you're asking to address the crowd,
you get laughed out of the
that's
building.
not gonna go well for you. Okay, like when I was a reporter, I was recovering a Fayetteville High School and Sylvan Hills High School baseball game, and this umpire was trying to like get back in. He was trying to like go back at the crowd that was heckling him, and he was just making a fool of himself, and the crowd was just like feeding off of it, and they were just like just letting him have it and over every little thing. And the more they did it, the madder he got, and he couldn't just like throw everybody out. And so he ended up just making a complete fool of himself, and it was pretty entertaining to watch, But I would say Osaka needs to take a similar approach, not like that, because that's kind of the route she's going. But she needs to, so scratch that. She doesn't need to take a similar approach. She needs to embrace the hate, like
So what was she? What was she gonna do once she had the microphone?
I'll probably go on some,
Was she
you
just
know,
gonna be? You need to apologize, or that's not nice, or no, you suck. I mean, what was she gonna come back with?
probably like you see like a typical, you know,
Yeah, go ahead and
woke
say it.
stand up
Oh, you said
comedian.
woke.
Yeah, woke stand up comedian these days that'll go up there and like try to lecture you on moral, be the moral compass of the or moral compass of the room. Probably something
What?
along those
There's
lines.
stand-up comedians like that.
Not
I thought
good
stand-up
ones.
comedians don't. Yeah, I thought stand-up comedians don't care, or at least yeah, the good ones I know of.
Yeah, not good.
Yeah.
That's why I said woke stand up comedians.
Oh, he should have just said terrible
I mean, it's the
comedians.
same thing pretty much, but it didn't. Yeah, you got to embrace being like use that as fuel. I like going back to the whole me talking about Kayvon Allen from North Little Rock going to Florida, being an Arkansas kid and going to Florida, and of course just getting heckled like wild when he comes into Bud Walton because he burned Arkansas and went to Florida. What does he do? He just that lit something under him, and he just had his best games ever against Arkansas. Like use that as fuel. Don't like there's no reason at all for you to be in tears or be that upset over something some idiot in the stands is yelling. If you're
Yeah,
letting that bother you, then
and
you
she's
need
won some major tournaments, right? I
I
mean,
mean she's
hell,
a
she's a
good
professional athlete. She should. I mean, one, you should have the freaking confidence to know that yeah, they're full of they're dumb.
yes. Like if you're letting that bother you, you don't have enough problems in your life.
No,
Like you need some more problems if that's one of them. Like that should just be you hear that and you maybe if it were me, if I heard that, I would get a laugh out of it. And if anything, just turn and like tip your hat or something to them. Like don't let them know that it's bothering you because it's just going to get worse. But it's what I saw a tweet out. Jason Whitlock, my favorite columnist. So 1,000 cheers to one heckler. Yeah, I mean she celebrated largely, but to focus on this and he's basically saying we're promoting or we're celebrating victimhood and
yeah,
weakness and I mean that is what it is. It's mental weakness and this victimhood mentality that if I address this, maybe people come to my aid and stand up for me, and people will. But just don't let it get to that point. Just screw that guy and continue on with your match.
have a what is it? Champion mentality. Champion mentality. Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
that.
what would you do if you're like if you're in with basketball going on right now? If you're on the opposing team and you walked into Bud Walton Arena, are you going to ask to address the crowd? As they're heckling you, like, how do you think that's going to go?
Hey guys, please don't boo us.
Like, it's
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
you're gonna get stuff thrown at you.
yeah,
Like,
and it's one thing if you're saying things like, throwing racial slurs at them, but just something as simple as "you suck" shouldn't.
yeah, people been hearing that since they were 3 years old on the playground. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it shouldn't affect your play. It shouldn't affect your day. None of it should. You should let all that kind of stuff just roll off your shoulders. Like I said, I mean, some's going to be worse than others, and I can understand a reaction, if a certain reaction, if it's worse than what it was. But
Yeah,
something as simple as "you suck" should just go through one ear and out the other. But yeah, I would say that just toughen up. I mean, there's no other way to put it. There's not a polite way to dance around it.
yeah,
Toughen up. Don't let it bother you. But hey, I'm rooting for the gal. Hope she does well.
yeah.
But I
She's
want to
a
hear.
good
But I
tennis
want to
player.
hear. Yeah, I want to hear about her play rather than stuff like this. And this seems to
Mm,
be the only time I see her in the news is when she's, you know,
upset.
exactly upset in a press conference or on the court. Much less.
Yeah,
Forget that. So, uh, in the wrestling world, lost a legend last night. Rest in peace, Scott Hall, aka Razor Ramon. I can't roll my R's, otherwise I would have done it. The bad
yeah. I
guy.
can't either. Yeah, the bad guy.
Yeah, and there's this purple Razor Ramon shirt that I'm gonna get, and I'm gonna wear it on one of these episodes. It's got his mug on it with his arms crossed, and it's purple and it says "oozing machismo" under it. I want that shirt so bad.
You better freaking order it like tonight.
No,
Probably getting sold out.
I looked at it last night. It was like a $30 shirt. I was like,
Oh, yeah,
maybe maybe later
yeah.
on. I don't know.
Uh,
Wishing
yeah.
I would have got that a year or two ago when I saw it. But
You
Scott
spend
Hall,
that money on a $30 shirt.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, rest in peace. He was a lot of fun to watch. One of the founders of the NWO, revolutionized wrestling, pretty much heated it up, got us all into it as younger kids at the time.
Yeah.
Absolute, absolute freaking legend. Uh, Probably dropping razor's edges on people, in the squared circle upstairs right now. So, rest in peace, Scott Hall. Is there a particular Scott Hall match you remember or promo?
Uh, not, man, not anyone in particular. Like the only one that's coming to mind is, of course, the one I seen last night. I think it was the ladder match with
Shawn Michaels.
yeah.
Yeah, first ever ladder match,
That one was
WWE had.
that one was pretty nuts. I mean,
No, it was dope.
yeah, dude.
But
I don't know, man. I just remember him like just you know being real small early morning Saturday TV, man, seeing him and all the other ones on the screen, man, for the longest time. It's crazy to think.
yeah, his promos were always fun and vignettes, especially his Razor Ramon. But the memorable one for me is coming into WCW just as an outsider, coming out through the crowd and just saying, "You don't know why I'm here, uh, but you're gonna find out," basically. And then and of course, anytime he got the mic and started a promo with "Hey yo," the one strand of hair down his
Yeah,
middle of
the
his
one
head,
strand of hair was yeah.
the toothpick. I mean, dude was just cool, man. He was just
Yeah.
a cool dude. So, rest in peace, Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, 2-time WWE Hall of Famer. He was fun to watch. He was great in interviews too. Dude had a hell of a mind. Like the Crow Sting thing,
Yeah.
Crow Sting
Yeah.
character. That was his idea.
Really?
Yes, that was his idea because he saw Sting in the locker room. This is like when he first got there, and uh, like Sting's hair he was growing it out and it was getting darker as it was black. He was like, "Hey, you not coloring your hair anymore?" He was like, "Nah." He was like, and he was like, "Yeah, it fries it out, doesn't it? Like fries your hair out." He's like, "Yeah, so I'm just not gonna do it." And then he's like, he said, "So you still gonna wear like the happy colors?" Like the bright colors that he would wear on his tights. And he was like, "Yeah, why wouldn't I?" And then he was like, "Have you ever seen The Crow?" And I'm sure he said it like Scott Hall, like, "You ever seen The Crow?" And he was like, "Nah, I hadn't seen it." He's like, "Well, he's kind of this like dark character and real mysterious like." And he was like, "I'm not saying rip off Taker, but rip off Taker, the Undertaker." And then he explained to him the character, and yeah, that's how he ended up with Crow Sting. So dude had a heck of a mind too for the business. But yeah, rest in peace, Scott Hall. So, ladies and gents, that's gonna do it for episode 20 for us tonight. We are going to come back with an NCAA tournament preview. NCAA tournament starts Thursday. Actually, the play-in game started tonight, but uh, the round of 16, or I guess 64. Uh, yeah, that starts Thursday, and the next episode, episode 21, will be an NCAA tournament preview. Uh, we'll have We'll each give you our picks. We'll have final four prediction, national champion predictions, dark
Yeah, we're
horses,
gonna
etc.
run through the whole bracket, right?
We're gonna do the whole thing,
The whole bracket.
the
The
whole thing.
whole kid and caboodle. It's
There you go.
all going down.
There you
Next
go.
episode.
That's
Yeah,
where we need
March
like
Madness special.
that's where we need like a Dre thing, like next episode.
Yeah, we need like the celebration siren. Meh, 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 meh. However it goes. You know what I'm talking about.
That just sounds like the intro to Forever.
What?
Drake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, sounded just like it. All right, so yeah, episode 20. This is the conclusion. We're out. We'll see you next time with the NCAA tournament preview, March Madness. And since I didn't do it to start the show like I would, I'll do it now. Bradley, sign out. Deuces.
What?
This is just where you say bye. Yeah. And then
See you later.
I'll do the hey yo.